We're a brand that operates within the nursery industry. We design, develop and source products that get sold throughout the UK and Europe in some of the biggest national chains. The Snooze brand itself stands for quality, it's premium. The customers that we work with are looking for a product of pretty exceptional quality, and that's of course, you know, the holy grail is when you're in the likes of the larger retailers, which we are, and you see your product in stores, you know, in the shopping centres, etc., and actually get the positive feedback from the customers themselves. That's an absolute sort of dream for us to see it go from a piece of paper right the way to selling thousands of units a month. When looking to find an agent who could look after our needs within the Far East, we looked at a lot of different suppliers and different agents that we could work with. The reason that we actually chose Easy Imex specifically is because of the fact that they have UK people within the business that can actually assimilate with what our end user is actually looking for from a quality perspective. And we see Easy Imex as an extension to our business out in China, looking after our interests on the ground day in, day out, going out to the factories, making sure that relationship is upheld, and again, just smoothing out the supply chain, making sure any risks are mitigated, so we've got the peace of mind to crack on with business in the UK. It's obviously really exciting developing and designing a product. That's, in my opinion, that's the fun bit. That's when you can be really flexible on what it is that you're trying to do, because it's all on paper. To actually then get that put into practice and actually deliver a product that is not only going to sell within the stores and sell to the stores, but also is actually commercially viable, and that's why manufacturing in China was an obvious choice for us. We look to minimise risk at all times, so obviously when you've got just one factory set up out there, you need to mitigate that risk and make sure that we have multiple factories being sourced constantly, and make sure that at the end of the day, at any point, you've got additional areas in which you can source one of your key products to your business from. I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of manufacturers and brands make when looking to source from China is they believe that once they've done the initial sourcing, that they can just keep ordering containers and containers and containers, and it just doesn't work like that. We found that Easy Imex keep on picking up and improving the quality through the factories, and also making sure that no quality does drop off at various points throughout the supply chain. If we used a solitary factory within China, obviously that gives them a huge amount of power over the pricing, and this is where Easy Imex have tried to dilute that amount of power they have. We use multiple factories within China, and we're continually looking to source more factories to deliver the product. It keeps it competitive, not only on a price front, but also on a quality level as well, to make sure that if one factory says they can't do something or there's an issue, you've got the other factories there that can almost provide proof that it can actually be done and that quality can be achieved. And not being able to check each of the individual components that eventually create the final product, it would have been absolutely impossible to do remotely, and to spend the money commercially to go out there probably 5, 6, 7 times and to different factories, it just wouldn't have made sense. And again, that's where Easy Imex have just jumped on it and been able to make that a completely smooth transition. Easy Imex, from a commercial point of view, really worked for us because it was scalable. So obviously there are certain setup costs initially, and you have to obviously budget for that as a business. However, going forward, you're looking more for a partner that's going to actually work with you and invest time and develop the product and help you get to that point. And obviously, as it becomes more and more of a success, it's in their interest, because they take a percentage cut, they're actually making more money themselves. That is one of the main reasons that we chose Easy Imex, because the fact that we knew that there were people who we were going to actually end up trying to sell to, i.e. in the European market, in the UK, actually working on our behalf within Easy Imex to make sure that the product was delivered to that standard. Some of the biggest challenges that we've had as a company looking to source out in the Far East, obviously there's a huge language barrier, there's the culture barrier, and the sheer fact that it's effectively a day away. You lose that additional day when you go out there anyway. And to be able to know that we're actually only a phone call away and there's someone from the UK in China sourcing products, looking after our needs within China, and has the ability to get to the factories within a couple of hours, that is what we've seen as made the difference between what could have been a very difficult process sourcing from the Far East and making it actually quite a pleasurable one.